Okay, just beat the challenge. Let's get the icon from the basement, and then there was no chicken. You must find a way to release me. First key is hidden in a secret gauntlet. Okay, complete the chaos gauntlet and the key will be yours. So do I have the chaos gauntlet now? Oh my god. Whoa, it's Wulzy. Welcome back to the 12 Creations of Christmas. This is day number 8. I figured out by completing the challenge finally that there is a chaos gauntlet that you unlock with a bunch of stuff, the game lore. I don't really understand it, but that means I skipped over it because I did the time gauntlet, I did the crystal gauntlet. I've left this out, so I guess I'm going back to that today. That's really funny that I skipped it, but you see right here, there's a couple of toggle triggers. That's because there's a coin route. If you hit this green orb late, you hit some invisible gravity portals you see right down here, and that lets you skip this platform and the coin will be available. We're continuing our level. I still don't have a name for it, but as a recap, this is the fire part. I've been trying to use a lot of animated objects since it's a really unexplored world for me and a bunch of other people. You can see right here with the drip objects at the top and bottom. Might be using those in a future video on this series. We'll see. I've got a couple of burning ideas. It just depends how well I can make it fit with each theme. So I've recently been going more colorful with these videos. The time gauntlet is kind of crazy. And we also have the ridiculous background in the crystal section. And we're somehow going to lead on to chaos right here. You see I made everything fade out with an alpha trigger. I've been doing that, but it's important that I also remember to toggle as well, because I had a little bit of lag when I was going into the crystal part initially until I toggled it off after the video. So this jump is going to lead into a mini ball section, but I'm probably going to continue the portal fading thing that I did at the start of the crystal part, where there's just a trigger above each portal for about 0.2 seconds. So you kind of float through, and then there's going to be a really long platform for you to react to the fact that you're a ball. Purple orb. Woo! Yellow orb. Woo! Yeah, this is just absolutely not a 3-star anymore. Nice. That transition works pretty well in my opinion, and everything's nice and easy to sight read. Cool. It's time to quickly make some flashy colors for the object line and color channel 4. 0.2 and 0.2, and this can go to a light pink, sometimes a yellow. Might need to change the fade times to 0.1 and 0.1. I'm gonna copy these two colors over and over again just to the end of each duration line, then copy paste and alternate the 4. So if I put a color channel 4 square right here, you can see it goes pink when the blocks go yellow. Also gonna put an object trigger at the very beginning of this part, which is gonna fade slowly to black, so the pulses get more and more harsh basically. I desperately need to learn the spawn trigger, man. Okay, let's get started on a background. We need a particle object and we need a center that's on the ceiling. These both need to be on B4. Don't fade, don't enter. Moving group 518. Okay, we're just gonna make a circle looking thing like that. These dots need to be invis, so I'm setting them to group number 1. I'm gonna make these objects color channel 2, which copies the object color, and color channel 4. So they should, yeah, you see, they're kind of flashy. Then I need to go through every single object and give it a unique group so it can rotate around its own center. Not its own center, but the center that I've allocated to it, essentially. Then it's time to set up rotation triggers. The last group I added was 534. So I'm going to start with 533 around 534. I guess it can rotate 2 times around 360 in 10 seconds with ease and out. And then we're going to go back and decrease the groups by 2 on each side. And I'm adding a block between each trigger so they're kind of staggered. So each particle is going to rotate around the center that's allocated, and it's going to kind of swirl in front of me for a cool looking effect. The cool thing about all of this is that I can select it all, copy paste, put it on a new editor layer, build helper, and then we can go to these objects and scale them up. So we can have a 1.25 version, and these can be more saturated, for example. And we could also flip this backwards. I'm going to change the hue as well by +50, I think. And I can just keep on doing the same thing with different colors and scales. This should be a lot of particle objects just floating around. That is a lot. A lot more than I was anticipating. Okay, when it rotates, it's fine, right? Okay, let me see if I can figure out something else. If I scale one of these objects you can find in the saw tab up like that, give it a custom rotation of maybe 90 degrees, set it to 4 with a lot of saturation, and don't fade, don't enter B4, half opacity, I guess. So what happens if I copy paste this one to the left every time and just head towards the ending? What happens here? Oh, it rotates. Dude, okay, this could be huge. 40 degrees gives me that, and that is super interesting. So what if I copy these, flip them upside down, and then half space them 1 block to the right? Oh, we get an X in the middle. That's cool. Okay. Oh, we can get some cool gradients by having one set be color channel 2 and the other set be color channel 4 because they alternate. There we go. That's crazy. I made a background without move triggers. That's awesome. I'm gonna get rid of 242 and I'm gonna make my own opacity so I have a better control of the visibility and stuff. And honestly, I can probably just copy paste these two triggers, which fades it up to full and then back down to 0. But I don't think either fade actually finishes, so you get some weird obscure opacity in the middle. And that makes everything super bright and happy. I just realized that this is the Chaos Gauntlet and not the Magic... Oh no. Dude. Okay, but it does go hard though. It does go hard though, so it's fine. It's excusable, right? But I think I'm gonna have that as like a masked background. So basically that's only gonna be visible inside the blocks and everything else is gonna be black space. So I'm gonna start off by copy pasting across the entire level. Oh, we've hit the object limit. Wow, that is crazy. Then we just cut out our shapes of the objects. Hopefully this brings us back under the object limit. In cases like this, I'm gonna have to use mini blocks. I'll show you what I mean. If I copy the values of that mask and then go get some mini blocks, just fill up that space so there's no cracks in the design or in the structure right now, however you want to call it. Okay, so then I select all the blocks and the slopes, not the spikes. Okay, cool. We're going to put this on group number 1 on editor layer 10 or something like that, out of the way. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. There's a way that I could make this look better, I believe, and it should be really simple. I go to editor layer 8. I set this object to B3. I might have to set that to low opacity, but you see that? I think it's a pretty cool illusion inside the blocks. Going to select all the spikes, as you can see, put them on 4 and 4, and also that group that pulses, and also the opacity changing group, so you can see these aren't always opaque. One step left, one step up, and then copy paste, move it 2 down, 2 to the right, and give it 2 and 2. So these have like a secondary layer behind, I guess. It's not too visible, but at the same time, they don't really need to be, so it works. But I might try out a giant pulsing triangle that pulses white at certain points. I've set the color to black blending, so it's not going to show up without a pulse. So I'm hoping for this not to get in the way. I'm going to select every third trigger in this sequence, just using it as a template, really. There we go. That gives it a subtle boost. I guess I'm also going to add massive orb decoration on black blending that does the same. Then maybe can I scale up more electric decoration? This is a recurring theme, by the way. I like that on the bottom. Although at the cube portal, there is a tiny little crack underneath, and for that reason, I'm going to back it up. So I'm just going to copy paste it down a couple times. So there's 3 layers there. Cool. That makes it feel a lot more enclosed, actually. Now, here's a crazy fact. I haven't actually used any glow yet. That would have just been so crazy if I got that to happen, but there's no way. There's not enough color in it. It looks so washed, so I need to increase the saturation. I guess on the Wizard I can make the glow go up to max opacity. Nice. Okay, that works. Let me check hitboxes. How viable is that? Oh god, I'm gonna have to be careful with this, but I could, in theory, put a giant scaled up saw underneath the level and have it rotate a bit for a bit of extra detail. What if I made color channel 9, which is the black, pulse to copy color channel 4 with less brightness, obviously, but a lot more saturation? Maybe... that gives it a little bit more life, right? And one more detail like this white blending that I added earlier. Okay, the main thing that bothers me with this is the left side of the screen, because you can clearly see the difference in the background and the pulsing foreground you see right here that's going orange and stuff. So I might add a gradient that covers up the left side. I'm going to stack 4 strips like this on group 518, which is the movement group. Don't fade, don't enter. At the top of a B2. It needs to go on the other black color channel, the one that doesn't pulse. Group 609 is invisible until this point right here, where it's going to fade on to half opacity. I'm placing 2 extra strips of black blocks on the left side, just in case people are using widescreen devices and it cuts off. As you can tell, I've made a couple of fixes for this with the brightness. You can see that I've got some really bright white glow on group 610, which pulses at the same time as everything else on 0.1.1. As you can see, it just goes to white, and set it up here on black blending with that group, as you can see. So there is a lighter version of the background running on top of itself, which isn't always visible, but it shows the path. Then basically I just added these white pulsing circle object thingies from this tab down here, the ones that expand. And as you can see, it's looking a bit more washed out now, but it's a lot flashier and it's a lot more visible. You can sight read it now, which is good. But that after probably my longest recording session yet, even though the level doesn't look great, is the end of day 8 of the 12 Creations of Christmas. My goodness, man. This level really took a turn for the worst. It just became spam and glow and scale hack, but I hope it's at least entertaining. I think I got the themes on lock after kind of failing the poison and shadow themes. I think everything else is pretty thematically accurate. Even though I was supposed to do the chaos today, I kind of messed up and did magic, but I think it looks fine. This part is still so cool to me. Why didn't I just do something like this? It would have been so much easier. Let's just see our newly created part. It's a little bit too flashy, I think, but we'll keep it, whatever. I don't think it's a great part at all. Thank you for watching day 8 of the 12 Creations of Christmas. Check the links in the description, leave a like and subscribe, and see you tomorrow. Have a good day.